Today I'm going to cover a couple things. A project that has been sitting dormant, and also a project that I discussed 2 or 3 times on the channel, and I finally had a day to where nothing appealed to me and I started. So if anything sounds interesting to you, grab your project, grab your drink, and join me. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here. Whether you're new or you're returning, thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend with me. My table is a mess. I'm going to warn you. It is a mess. But I finally finished the project I had back in January that got put on hold because I did the crochet along, and then I had the whole backhoe stump removal thing going on with us pulling stumps and pushing piles and stuff. And even though we are in the stump burning stage right now, we're going to talk about WIPs in a little bit. But for now, I want to show you what I actually got finished. And I'm going to be all dramatic. Are you ready? I have it rolled up and everything. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I got it done. And this thing is so fluffy and squishy. Okay. Now, let me do a full disclaimer. You see how it's buckling right now? I did not block that. I did not block it. I kept trying to wait until my work table was big enough, a big enough area, which is the entire 72 inches, available to do 3 at a time on some towels. But I never got that chance. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, and my hair is irritating the mess out of me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew them together. And I still love it. Now, I think what I'm going to have to do is use my bed, put towels down on my bed, steam it, block it out, let it dry, and do it that way. Because there was no way I was going to be able to do it in here. Now, it is 6 of these squares. So, 2, 4, and 6. These things are huge. Width, it is probably about 40 inches wide by, let's see, I have it folded in half, almost in half. Now, I'll give you some details on this in just a moment. I will put the link to the crochet along video that I did. Let's see. This is 30 inches folded, so it means it's 40 by 60 inches. A perfect throw. Now, as much as I love this beautiful thing, I will not be keeping this. If you are interested in wanting it, send me a message. I would probably only ask for the cost of the materials, which I haven't figured up yet, and the shipping. Now, on the crochet along version, I did a mattress stitch to seam them together, and I didn't like it because it didn't afford me as much of stretch as I wanted. So this time, I did something a little different, for me anyway. I did a single crochet together, but I did it on the wrong side because I did not want the seam on the right side. I mean, it's not a bad seam, but I just wanted more of a smoother look on the outside. And after I did the row 23, I believe, is the final row on this project. Now this is row 23 of a elements blanket design. I will put all the details in below. In fact, I'm going to grab that information for you real quick because I don't like to not have that information. But I did a crochet along in some sunset colorways. Let's see, kick off to my crochet along. That is what the name of it's called. It says, let's kick off our crochet along. All right, and why is this thing not showing me any information? There we go. Okay, now I do have a Facebook group. It should be linked down below on all of my videos. There is a paid pattern for the Elements Blanket Crochet Along that is 8 years old, I think. But there is also a content creator called It's All in a Nutshell. That's her channel. She had the authorization from the designer to do a YouTube tutorial. Now, I only did 2 parts of that. I did part 1 and part 2 to get this square here. It is part of a much bigger blanket. So you can purchase the pattern and do the entire blanket. You can purchase the pattern and just do the first 2 sections. Or you can watch the free YouTube tutorial. I will link all of that down below. Now, I used, in my crochet along, I used like a sunset colors. In this one, I used Caron 1 pound. I did white, robin's egg, aqua, and deep sea teal. Now, I did stay with the white on my borders and my my joining, simply because I liked having that much brightness. And after doing the sunset, it was nice to finish this off in the bright type, yeah. In more of the brighter, you know, I can't think of my words today, y'all. It would have been better if I could have filmed this when I wanted to, bright and early this morning. But I didn't want to wake my husband up by going back in the bedroom and throwing on my clothes. And I'm not going to film this in my nightgown. I love y'all. But I'm not going to show you my nightgown. Which technically my nightgown is pretty much like a t-shirt. It just has designs on it. Because I used to wear only oversized t-shirts to bed. But my nightgown's pretty much made of the same material anyway. Okay, so if you want details, I do have that in the tutorial or the crochet along that I've linked down below. I have how much I used for my stitch gauge with a 5, no, actually, I think I used, wait a minute, yes, I used a 6mm hook. I'm getting my hooks mixed up. I used a 6mm hook or a USJ for the Caron Simply Soft, because in order for, not Caron Simply Soft, Lord mercy, I do not use Caron Simply Soft. I know I have some viewers who love it, and I treasure the fact that you enjoy that. I do not. But the Caron 1 pound, it's a thicker 4-weight, even more. Sometimes the Caron can go hand in hand with the Red Heart Super Saver. Sometimes it cannot. Oh, I apologize. Carbonation in my little caffeine drink. But anyway, it's really, how can I say it? It's a stiffer. If you go too low on this, it's stiff. Now, I could not do a 5mm with that. I tried, and it almost stood up on its own. So I wanted some flexibility, because with this stitch pattern and in all its beautiful glory, it's squishy. And that's the biggest takeaway from this pattern. It's just squishy. I love it. But I cannot keep this blanket. I need to get rid of it because I do not need any more blankets. Okay. And I already have my charity blankets going. This is not meant to be a charity blanket. Oops, sorry. Did not mean to move, y'all. I'm so sorry. That was never intended to be a charity blanket, so it will not be. I do have certain blankets that I allocate toward charity blankets, and I know that's probably not the way to do it, but I have things in mind when I say my charity blankets. All right. Now, as far as my WIPs, I have a stack of squares over there, animal squares and blank squares I have not done anything with. True confession time. It was my intentions to work on them this week and get the blankets mostly done, if not all the way done, for both of the blankets. But it's been a very rough week. It's just been a very rough week. Busy, and I just, like Monday, I felt so bad. I was supposed to get my yard mowed. I was supposed to get these blankets almost to the point to where I could just assemble them and go, you know, because assembling them won't be hard. And I'm wondering if I might do a single crochet join or even a slip stitch join. I know I won't be doing the mattress stitch, but I could do like a whip stitch join. I just don't know. But I have decided I'm definitely going to use, I think I have a medium gray heather that I like, that I'm going to be using for that. I haven't made a final decision, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm going to be using. But when I say I did not feel good, I don't often feel this way, but and I cannot be the only one. But when you feel totally blah, you don't want to work on anything that you've got going on. And Monday, I did meet up with Kirsten because, you know, we ordered the Hobie yarn together. And she was going to go out of town, so she wanted to, you know, square up with me. Because let me tell y'all, when you partner up with someone to make an order so you don't have to pay shipping, that is the bomb. Let me tell you. Especially since I didn't need much. I will probably be doing an unboxing or unbagging of that video. But we'll see. Anyway. Because she did order some stuff I've never ordered and I've never felt. So, you know, I might be doing that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Now, the thing about, the reason I bring that up about just feeling blah, because I met with her Monday, and by the time I got home, my eyes were so sensitive to the sunlight. And in fact, when we met up, I went to go get out of the truck, and I was like, oh, jeez, Pete, it's bright out here. So I jumped back in the truck, and she ended up walking around to the passenger side and talking to me so that the sunlight was not that bright on my eyes. So when I got home, it never went into full-blown migraine, but it was like edging right on the edge of that. And apparently my migraines come in spurts anymore, so I don't know why that is. There's no individual trigger. I've been monitoring my food, my eating, my food, my drinks, you know, and mostly it's sparkling ice, either the caffeine or the non-caffeinated version. I drink water. I used to drink water all the time. Y'all know that. But this is basically not this, but the non-caffeinated version is basically just electrolyted water that has carbonation in it. But there's not been anything to indicate that it is a specific trigger. So, other than stress and busyness. But I couldn't go out and mow the yard. I couldn't go out and burn stumps. So I thought, okay, let me go ahead and start assembling the animal square blankets for my 2 great nephews. And I couldn't get the motivation up to do it, y'all. I'm sitting there in my recliner and I'm feeling ugh. And Kirsten had sent me a message and she said, I hope you're feeling better and I hope you can find some joy and, or equivalent to that. I can't remember the exact verbiage and I'm recording on my phone, so I can't, look at it. But otherwise, she hoped I was feeling better and that I found some kind of joy today. And I was like, you know what? I am. I'm going to do that. I'm going to mentally shake myself out of it. Not the headache, but the blah. So the thought of doing the animal blankets wasn't bringing me any joy whatsoever. It felt like an obligation or a stress at that moment. It doesn't feel that way, but at that moment, I had no inclination, and it just did not make me feel good to think about doing that. Then I thought about, I can't remember when we bought these. But this was the upside down cakes from Michael's that we bought, that I showed y'all. And it's the candy floss version. Now these I ended up with 40% off. These things are $14.99 a piece, which is atrocious for such a small ball of yarn or cake of yarn. But when I bought those, I said in my video that I would love to make a hexie cardi and pair it with black because I really thought that would pop. Well, I also, a few months prior to that, said that I wanted to try an Octagon cardigan. So instead of doing the hexie cardigan and not being sure how the colors were going to line up when you put the hexie cardi together and seam it up the back, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the Octagon cardigan. And Drama Crochet has a great tutorial. She has several. And I will link the one that I used for this down below. And from there you can go to her channel and look at all the different ones. But Drama Crochet, she had, it was frustrating for me at first, but that is not indicative. Whoa, I cannot even talk today. That does not give any indication of her capabilities. She's great. Let's just get that out there. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. Because I was not feeling good and I was trying to force myself to feel better, which in the end, the fake it till you make it worked for me that day because I felt a lot better by the time evening rolled around and I had gotten a hang of the pattern. So this is essentially, let me take my hook out for the moment. Let me put a little plastic stitch marker in so that so it doesn't pull my stitches out. And I really enjoy doing this because, okay, let me back up. I'm not a huge fan of the granny stitch. We all know this. I would rather do a solid granny square than a granny stitch granny square. But it's easy, and in certain situations, it's growing on me. In fact, in most situations, it has grown on me. Now, if I am going to do a granny square, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to try to do a solid. I still do it. Okay. But this right here is what I've got so far. And the reason it's called an octagon is because it is 8-sided. But essentially, I'm going to be working across the back. And then when you fold this right here down, oh, nope, I got that wrong. When you fold, this is the sleeve. When you fold this, I'm going to fold the other sleeve. Okay, that's not quite working. All right, see, that's what that's going to look like. And I know the sleeve is not long enough yet, but that's essentially what it's going to look like. And here's the body. Now, what I'm assuming, I haven't gotten that far in the tutorial, but what I'm assuming is once you get to the length of the arm you desire, and you seal up, you close up the arm, then you'll add more length. Because let's face it, that's not going to be long enough. Okay. Now, I am using measurements from the Craft Yarn Council's body measurements for the extra large. And obviously, we have a ways to go for this to be starting to close in. But like I said, once you do the arms and everything. But I'm loving the colors on this. I do think that adding the black is essential to make this candy floss pop. Now, Jennifer from Cinnamon Stitches said that she wanted to see what it looked like when I finally did it. So Jennifer, here you are, sweetness. If y'all watch me and Jennifer, I have not been watching my podcasters. I'm sorry. I have been going on Kelsey's lives, but that's if I can catch them. I catch 1 or 2 every now and again. And Autumn, I seen you, girl. Did you see me respond to you? But I might send Jennifer a message. I forget. You know, y'all know me and my brain, and I'm just daggone stupid busy. But so basically, I folded the arms in like I'm doing like this, so you can kind of get an idea. But I'm loving it. I am loving it. So Jennifer, if you are looking, or if someone has told you to come to the video, it is definitely something you should probably think about doing. This gives you a preview as to whether you would want to combine that or not. Now, that being said, today is Thursday. Y'all are going to see this tomorrow because it will upload tonight, 4 in the morning. I do have... Oh, all right. So that's it for me showing you what I finished and the work in progress. Of course, I have the blanket still in progress, but not counting all my knitting that I have in progress. But now we're going to talk. Okay, we're just going to chit chat for a minute. And while we're chit-chatting, I might go ahead, you know what, I'm going to work on this a little bit more. But Monday was, like I said, I had a lot of plans Monday. Oh, and I am using my 5mm hook with this. I can't remember what it calls for. Oh, it actually calls for a 5mm. Okay, so I actually used what it called for. Shocking. But Monday I had all these plans. I wanted to go pick some more corn so I could get some more of our canned corn, our corn canned. And it didn't happen. When I asked my daughter-in-law Sunday if she wanted to go Monday, she said no, and I was like, well, you know what, I'll go by myself. And that was my every intention. But like I said, I was not in a shape to be picking corns Monday. Plus, I told y'all that I bought that corn peeler. I think I told y'all that I bought a corn peeler off of Amazon. And I cut myself several times. We're just going to say that. So I had told my daughter-in-law and my sons Sunday, I said, you know, I need to get one of the other kind of peelers. Well, I looked back at those peelers, and some of the reviews said that you could only squeeze it so tight to get the smaller cobs. And I don't know. Size is relative when you talk about smaller or bigger. I mean, unless you put a diameter in there, my brain's not going to do any kind of sort of connection with that. So I was like, I'm really hesitant to do that. And I was talking to him, and my daughter-in-law, because I joked with my daughter-in-law because she used to work at a chicken processing plant. And they would have, thankfully she had I say an easy job. Basically, she was deboning the thighs and, you know, the thighs off. So they gave her essentially a chainmail metal glove to put up under her white cotton glove. And I thought she had brought them home, because I think they're issued to you, and, you know, you're only allowed like one pair a year, or I don't remember exactly what she said. But she doesn't have it, and she doesn't know where she put it, because, I mean, this has been before my grandson was born, and my grandson's 6, plus the 9 months she was incubating him. Yes, while she was pregnant. So it's been a long, hot minute since she worked at that place. Sorry, sweetness. I know I should have warned you, but I wasn't planning on talking about that part. Anyway. So I said, you know, I needed to grab that from her, and she said she didn't have it anymore. So I thought, okay, well, Amazon, right? But the ones that are chainmail like that, some of the complaints were that they were not as flexible, and, you know, you didn't have the dexterity like you would just not wearing a glove. Well, not wearing a glove is not an option for me, obviously, because I tend to cut myself. So I looked around. I couldn't make any decisions, so nothing got ordered Sunday, Monday. I did order it Tuesday night. So that possibly we could go. Wait, no. Today's Thursday. We went Tuesday morning to pick corn. Sorry. We talked about it Sunday. She didn't want to go Monday, and I definitely ended up not feeling like going by myself. So she asked me Tuesday morning, did I want to go? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because I didn't order the chainmail glove because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. In the end, to simplify things, okay, one feature I do like about this, because she has different arms. She has like a t-shirt version. I think Kelsey did that last summer, which gave me the idea of doing a Octagon cardigan. I don't remember if Drama Crochet had it available then, or if it was an offshoot after she made the t-shirt version. I don't know. I did not look up the history of all that. But she has like a short sleeve version, which is a t-shirt version. And then she also has like a 3/4 inch sleeve, all the way same size. And then she has one that goes down to the wrist, but it decreases. The words are not working today. I told y'all this. And then she's got one that has the cuff. Now, I'm doing the decrease version, but what I think I might do is I might add a cuff on the end. I don't know. I made this in an extra large, and I may end up putting it on my website. Now, I do have one on my website already, and I can't remember what version that one is. Let me go into collections because I can't even see, y'all. My eyes are getting so bad. Alright, I don't have it in a collection, so I might not even have it up now. I don't know. Anyway, but I might put it on my website for sale, and if anybody wants it. But it will be in an extra large size. The other one is a large. So I wanted something a little bit bigger than that, just, to have. And then I also have the other two hexicardis that I had made. So I might just put all of them up on the website and, get them out of my house. Because, y'all seen my storeroom. It's very limited in space. Now, I'm not going to sell the top that I made, that I designed, yet. I know, yeah, there's a couple of you that have wanted it, but I'm not going to sell it yet until I make a solid version and I write things down a little bit better so that I could remake it. And in the meantime, I need the original prototype. And since it's too big for my niece, that's kind of a given that I'm not going to be able to do that. But, sorry, squirrel. Definite squirrel moment on that one. But Tuesday, we did get to go pick corn. All right. And when she asked me, I looked on Amazon, and the one I had been looking at, which is, it is a reinforced cloth. I think it's like A9 or 9A. That's the strength to where how defensive it is to cutting. And it was same day delivery. It's like between 2 and 6 p.m. I was like, okay, well, we can do that. We can do that. And it turns out it wasn't. I didn't do it Tuesday night. I will put a clip at the end of this. It's just a minute-long clip if you're interested in the cornfield that we picked at. I know I didn't get video of it last time we went because I totally forgot. I got so excited about picking my own corn. Y'all. Now, next year, I will, when we finish the field out there, because we're going to grow our own hay for our cows. We're going to grow stock corn, for chicken and hopefully pigs one day. Because we have raised, and I say we as in a general we, because, technically it was my son and my daughter-in-law that raised coon pigs. But anyway, stock corn will be grown in the field, and then we will have probably about a ½ acre for sweet corn. We figured, because the area we planted, that we picked the other day, it looks like about an acre planted of sweet corn. And it was not unfeasible that me and her could do this, because we had planned on growing sweet corn, but we don't want an acre unless we end up doing it the following year. We're going to do a ½ acre the first year and see if that supplies all 3 households with the corn that we'll need. And if it does, we may just stick with that. But if it doesn't, we may go a little bigger. We might go up to an acre and sell off in the farm stand any excess, if the farm stand even takes off. If not, I might take it up to a couple local farm stands, a big vegetable stands like Sarah's. And I don't know if Sarah's buys from farmers or not, or local people. I think it's commercialized, but I don't know. I know Cook's is commercial. Cook's is local, but Cook's farms or vegetable stand, whatever you want to call it, produce, they are like 30 minutes away from me. So really wouldn't be, unless I was going to pick up something from them, then we could just kind of do bartering instead of me buying something from them, like watermelon, cantaloupe, peaches. But anyway, but now again, where we pick the corn, they also have peaches, but they get their peaches probably from the same people that Cooks gets their peaches from, because we are in South Carolina. But the funny thing is I think we have more peach fields per acre, than Georgia does. I know I'm a Georgia girl. I was born and raised in Georgia. And Georgia is called the peach state. We are the palmetto state. But there's a lot of peaches around here. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. This year we're buying our corns to preserve. Now, so far I've only canned it. I want to blanch it and freeze it, but my daughter-in-law said when she did last year, she got a lot of freezer burn on hers. So I still have this teeny tiny Temu, back when I was playing Fishland on Temu, vacuum sealer. It doesn't do humongous things, but I could definitely vacuum seal a few ears of corn, especially because we like to chop them into small mini ears. So it would be handy to do that. And I keep forgetting to move my stitch marker. The reason I have a stitch marker is because I will get back to the corn in just a moment. You need to know which, she calls it corner 4 and corner 6. And I lost that stitch marker on that corner. Did I not? I did. Okay. So I will, alright, this is corner 4 or 6. I don't know which one. Hold on. Do not drop my stitches. Alright, so it's the opposite. So this one is one corner, and off on this side it cannot be this corner because that would be the same one, so it would be this corner. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that now. And I think it just, I don't know if that will, there's a reason for these stitch markers later in the pattern. I know one indicator is instead of doing a 3-stitch granny cluster, you do a 2-stitch granny cluster on this one section because that's where it's going to be decreasing. So we'll see. All right. But I'm so sorry if y'all heard all that. No, carbonation. Back to the corn. So end result is we got fresh corn. Yay! Because I love me some fresh corn. And I do want to I will insert a picture before, or it might be a little 2 or 3 second video of the finished I did can all the corn. I meant to save a few ears out because last week when we did this, my husband wanted fresh corn that night for dinner, so we saved that out. This time, we wasn't going to do anything that we were going to be doing fresh corn with. But my father-in-law came over while I was processing this stuff yesterday. Yes, I know. We picked it Tuesday, and I didn't do it till yesterday. But to be fair, it came in at almost 6 o'clock. The glove came in almost at 6 o'clock that night. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be doing corn this late at night. And then I ended up doing it that late last night because yesterday was a doctor visit in Columbia for my husband, and those are always long days. So I still ended up doing this. I was canning corn until like 11:30 last night. Yeah, it was late. I'm a tired turkey because of it. But that's okay. I have caffeine. And let me tell you, that glove makes everything. Because the peeler I have, you can either do it away from you, which that hurts my left wrist. So I just do it toward me. And with that glove on, and I gave my daughter-in-law, even though she said she didn't want one, I gave her the left glove. Because I don't have the strength since the concussion. I don't have the strength. I will probably never regain the strength. I did end up calling a neurologist that I used to see and told them about everything that was going on. And I told the nurse, that they could get my files. And the neurologist, they kind of all agree that if I haven't gotten everything back by now, I'm probably kind of stuck with what I've got. And I'm okay with that because I'm probably about 90% back. There is some stuttering sometimes in the arm and the leg, but it's nothing like it was at the beginning. And if y'all were back then in October with me through all of that, you know. So, since I don't have that strength, I couldn't hold the corn cob in my left hand and do it with my right. But I am ambidextrous. Thankfully, I am ambidextrous. So it was no problem to take the control of the tool with my left hand, because that's just pulling it to me. There's not a whole lot of strength involved. The strength is holding that cob still. That's the key. But anyway, I gave the other glove to my daughter-in-law, the left-hand glove, because she holds the corn cob in her left hand and does it with her right. And that makes very quick work of peeling corn off of a cob. But, did y'all see me? I grab, y'all, I'm not a knife hook girl, but I have been lately. I've just been catching myself, grab it with the right hand sometimes. But much like me being ambidextrous, it's when you train yourself to do something a certain way, sometimes your brain just says, okay, I want to do it that way, and you don't even realize what you're doing. But I think I am, yes. So what I'm doing is I did 3 rows of color and then 3 rows of black, and now I'm doing 3 rows of color, and now I'm about to switch back to black. Now my black that I'm using, I know I'm skipping all over the place, but y'all know me. It's my squirrel tendencies. I am using, I thought I had, because I was going to use Karen 1 pound, because it's about as thick as this is. But I did not have any, and I had this right here, Big Twist Value Pound Plus, and I thought, why not do that? And you know what I just realized? I had all of this in my tote bag, and it's on the other side. But I'm going to show you. Hang tight 1 second. Ah! I'm trying to go under my table. And I can't because it's too low. And I'm not going to end up moving y'all. But I had it in my tote bag. And I had it in the Walmart bags inside the tote bags so that they didn't get tangled up. So it's really handy to do that. Okay. Now, I'm going to... I tend to do this so that I don't carry my yarn. In fact, you see that I have ends to weave in. But another way to secure my yarn is I pull up the loop that I'm doing, and then I go back in to that stitch, which is a half double crochet on these corners. Well, not on the beginning of the round corner. And then I just pull up my new working yarn and then make my corner stitches out of it. But, and yes, I still do the stacked single. And I almost messed up on that. To give me my double crochet height and fullness. But what I was going to say is this, this big twist, it's not as thick, but I have noticed that if I crochet loose, it keeps its thickness. Now, it's not crocheted super tight, and there is a slight difference, but not overly. You know, it's still going to work beautifully. Because I didn't have any carrying 1 pound, and I've been buying enough yarn lately. So anyway, I was almost finished telling you about the corn. But I did get all of it processed. I did forget to keep out some ears to freeze because my father-in-law came over with his girlfriend, and he's like, well, I want some. I was like, okay, well, take some. So he got a few ears of corn because it's just them two. And I forgot to leave out at least 2 ears of corn because I'll cut them in half to do mini ears. So that either A, we could have it all in one meal if we had company, or we could just do 2 mini ears for him and I, if it's just him and I. But I forgot. So I was talking to my daughter-in-law a little while ago. She called me, and I realized I had forgotten while I was on the phone with her, and she's like, well, do you want me to save you a couple ears from my stuff? I was like, yeah, that would be awesome, because we're about to have to take the trash off after they finish school. And because originally it was going to be let me get my video filmed, we'll take trash off, and then y'all do school. But unfortunately I forgot that I would have to wait on my husband to wake up. So they're doing school, this is their usual time to do school, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to get this video filmed before school. So I told her, I was like, we'll just take the trash off after school. So we're going to take the trash off. I wanted to go out there and get some stumps burnt today because it's been 3 days since we had the last rain, so it's perfect timing. It's not so dry that it's a fire hazard, but I do have all those barrels. My son had bought the pump for said barrels, so I'm all safe. And the fact that there's a fire station a half a mile as the crow flies, a mile on the regular road, but they're right there, so that's really handy to have them close. But so fire safety is a huge thing for me because, you know, for those of you who don't know, back in 2003, we lost our home to a house fire, and I don't play with fire of any kind, sort, or expression. So, It's probably a weird way of saying it, but you know what I mean. I don't play with fire at all. I don't take chances. So I think what I might do is after we get this done, after I get off here with y'all, I might go and because we bought we bought a flamethrower. It's not a flamethrower, y'all. It's one of those torch. It's a long extension. It's you know. So instead of me getting up close and personal trying to get the fire started, I can use one of those. It's like a 5 or 6 foot wand, and I can get them started that way. But also it'll help me because when we cleared the field, of course everything wants to grow back. Nature, she demands that she's going to get what she wants. Well, I could burn around the piles and leave the water barrels for anything that expresses itself outside of being allowed. But I could do that and go ahead and get that started while I wait on them to finish school. Yeah, I think I might do that. Not actually get a pile started, because initially when you first start a pile, or what I've noticed here is you pretty much have to be there for 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours to make sure that everything's burning safely. And you know, once it gets down to the stumps being just a big hunk of coal basically and just burning itself down, that's safe. I don't ever leave it unattended for long in that situation, but I don't have to be there at every second. I can walk around and I can do other things out in the field while I'm doing that. So what I may do is go ahead and burn with the torch, burn the new growth around the piles and get all that going. And then once we take the trash off, I can start one of the burn piles and go ahead, since I've got the corn done. Now I do want to, I told her this batch of corn was sublime. I mean, it's so fresh, so tender. Last week's, we were picking out of the other field, which you will see what I mean. They had it, they succession planted. They had one section that's already been cleared out and mowed down. Then they had a middle section, which we picked out of last week. And then they have the new section that we picked out this week. Technically, we shouldn't have been picking out of that other one last week. I mean, we still got great corn, but we didn't get as much good corn. Even though we got as many ears as we did, because we did 4 dozen. Because, y'all, these things are $5 a dozen. $5 a dozen. Can't beat that. Not for, you know, freshly grown, no pesticides and stuff like that. Now, on this new field, on this last section, we were noticing a lot of white, bumpy things at the top of the corn silks. I thought it was pests, because when I broke one open, it looked like eggs inside. So we left those alone. My daughter-in-law said it might be a fungus. Well, we left those alone, or so we thought. My daughter-in-law called me earlier and said, "Did you experience any more of that white stuff?" I was like, "No, I didn't pick any." And she's like, "Well, no, I'm talking about when you processed them. Did you find any?" And I said, "No." Apparently, she did, and she looked it up, and it's called smut, SUSMUT. And apparently it's due to what she tells me. I haven't looked it up because I literally started filming right after I got off the phone with her. It is cross-pollination. And I said, "What do you mean, like from the stock corn?" Because the sweet corn field is surrounded by stock corn. And what we picked from last week was in the middle. So it was the least likely to be cross-pollinated. And we didn't have any of this issue in last week's corn. But this week's corn, and in the video you'll see that whole section is right there beside the stock corn. So that taught us a valuable lesson. When we plant our corn, because originally we were going to do something similar to that. We were going to do our stock corn right there close or around like they did to their sweet corn. Not to their degree. I mean, they have a lot more land than I do. But in light of this, I was telling my daughter-in-law we could separate the sweet corn from the stock corn with a hay field. Or even a strip of hay field that we would just deal with by hand, because, you know, you can get a scythe, a sling blade, and, you know, do the wheat like that. Or hay field, not wheat field. We could grow on wheat, maybe. I don't know about all that. But anyway, you know, for the cows, and she wants horses, or she wants a horse. Lynn is out of the horse business. Lynn is out of the horses. That doesn't mean that I would not enjoy having horses again. I love horses, but since my legs have really gotten so weak in the muscles to where I would basically be using stirrups and saddle horns to keep my butt in the saddle, I don't like that. I've always relied on my thighs to keep me in the saddle. The stirrups and the saddle horn are beneficial when you need them, but I did not like relying on them at all the time. And the older I get, the worse those thigh muscles are getting. So I don't have as stable of a seat as I used to. And I don't know that I mean, we rode horses up in the mountains last year when we went up for my daughter-in-law's birthday. And it was enjoyable, but it wasn't as enjoyable as riding used to be for me. And I know all that goes back to my seat. So anyway, how'd I get on that? Oh, hay. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to do sweet corn, hay, and then stock corn. Or we might even move stock corn to the other side of the driveway and do just probably maybe a couple acres of stock corn. I don't know how much stock corn we're going to need right now, or how long we can keep it after we grow it if we grow too much. But we will have cows and chickens, so I don't think we're going to have pigs right away. Like I told. Alright, this is the time you might want to fast forward. I will hold up thumbs when I finish talking about this, okay? And you know who you are. If you do not want to hear about edible farm stuff, animal-wise. Okay, so, alright. As far as pigs, they had the Cooney Coon pigs, and we realized that they are not good meat pigs. They have great dispositions, but they don't produce a lot of meat. So I told my daughter-in-law that I think for now we can, because there's several farms that we know of, and just buy a pig off them and go ahead and get it processed and see how much meat that a meat pig can provide for our families, and see how many we may need, and whether it would be not more profitable, whether it would make more sense for us to raise our own pigs. Because we have the chicken situation will be laying hens, of course, and then Cornish cross meat chickens, and then the cows. But I want to see if the results from a meat pig will be worth it. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to give the thumbs up, and I won't talk about processing animals anymore. Okay. Sorry about that. But I did remember that you wanted warning about that part. So, I don't know how much we will need stock corn for in the beginning. like I said, I don't want it to cross-pollinate, because while the corn is edible, you don't want to can anything with that smut on it. You can eat it fresh, but apparently it can, if you can it, she said it can create spores or something, or it has spores. I don't know. I would have to research it. But I was not going to bring home any of that stuff anyway, and she ended up throwing out those that had the growth on them, or the cross-pollination, whatever. But anyway, that has taught us a good lesson that I think, will pay off in the long run. And I did not mean, I have been sitting here talking way too long. Cheesy Pete, why didn't you tell me? Just knock on your screen next time. Say, yo, quit talking. And don't come at me, for those of you who know I talk a lot. I know you won't come at me. But for anybody new, because I noticed that the tutorial video did get some new subscribers, and I welcome you, but I am a talker. Should have warned you at the beginning of this video. But anyway, I do know I talk a lot, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm going to get off here. And what I was saying earlier is I might not get a whole lot more done on this Octagon from Drama Crochet at the moment. I'm working on it now while we're talking, but this will probably be the last my hands touch it until those 2 baby blankets are sewn together and completed, because I want to get them done and given to my great nephews. Well, I can't give Isaiah his until I finish the quilt, which is another thing I have to get done. Oh, I'll save that for another video, but it's about the Kenmore that I found, the vintage Kenmore. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I hope you have the best weekend if you're watching this Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whenever. I hope you have a great week, next few days, and that you can find a little bit of joy. It's out there. Like today, mine's waiting on me to go outside because it's so beautiful. I don't like taking off trash because it's hot, sweaty, and stinky, but it is what it is. It's part of life. So I'm going to get off here. I hope you have a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye. Okay, for the 4 dozen ears of corn, I ended up getting 18 pints. Now they still have to be the seals tested and washed and labeled, and don't mind those. Those are the spare ones when I don't have a full canner's worth. But the video you'll see, the little clip you'll see after this, is of me showing you the cornfield that we actually went to. I'm going to try to cover up the microphone a little bit. It's a little windy. But out there you can see the stock corn surrounding the sweet corn field. I'm going to have to tell my daughter-in-law I want to get a foot measurement of this so that we can see, because if you'll look in the very back, that's about how far back it goes. So I'd say probably about 200 feet back. And then the top edge of that corn is the stock corn, and all this is the sweet corn. And you get to pick between that yellow sign and that yellow sign. They just opened up this field today, and this is the field we were picking off of. So I thought y'all would enjoy that.